Welcome to 22 and 23. Today's topic is orgasm problems for female anatomy. No matter what your anatomy, anyone can struggle with orgasm issues, or it can take a while to orgasm or find what feels good. For those with female anatomy in particular, it is very important to understand that a minority of people experience orgasm and sexual pleasure from vaginal penetration alone. Sure, it is certainly a part of sharing an experience with someone. If that is something that you enjoy, that's wonderful. But if you are looking for orgasm, the vast majority of people require additional stimulation like the clitoris beyond vaginal penetration. And so if someone is experiencing orgasm issues, one thing to do is explore and figure out what feels good to you, and don't assume that it's all in the vagina, it's all the G spot. Really experiment around, try clitoris as well, but don't hone in on that one area. The other thing is that certainly there can be medical conditions that can make orgasm issues difficult. And the main culprit for those with female anatomy is going to be mental health conditions or the medications you take for mental health conditions. Some birth control methods may also impact your orgasm ability due to lubrication issues, but the main cause of orgasm issues for those with female anatomy is going to be either mental health, connection with a partner, or like an antidepressant. So if you're taking a medication, sometimes that can interfere with orgasm. If this is you, talk to your doctor, and there are other things that we can consider if orgasm is a really important part of life for you, which it's okay if it is. On to your questions. Question number 1. I've asked my gyno why my libido is incredibly low at the age of 20. I wondered if it could be a side effect of being on the pill since 7th grade. She said there was nothing you can do or even test for to see why this is. I've researched like crazy on my own and read that a maca supplement has been found in certain studies to increase libido, but after taking it for quite some time, there's been no change. On top of that, I've never been able to achieve orgasm. I'm extremely frustrated and desperate for answers. It's taking a toll on myself as well as my relationship. What should I do? Okay, first of all, those maca supplements, cool that you tried it. There's really not a lot of evidence to support it. So I wouldn't waste your money anymore, especially if it's not working. Second thing, just back to basics. I suspect you have, but consider trying different points of arousal for you, including the clitoris, so not just the vagina. Third point for you is the pill. So you have been on a birth control pill, which we do know sometimes can contribute to natural moisture, arousal fluid production. If your doctor isn't into it, I might revisit this topic with a different physician and see if maybe there's something else that you can try. Alternatively, are you on any other medicines like antidepressants? Because that can also interfere with your libido. But I wouldn't give up just yet. And if your current doctor isn't totally sure, then I might talk with someone else. Now, I do want to say that it can be normal if you are happy not having sexual arousal, sexual feelings, that can be very normal. But for someone, it sounds like you, who wants sexual arousal and libido, then it's definitely worth talking to your doctor about, making sure that I would say there are some labs that you could possibly run, and other medicines that you could try. So I wouldn't give up hope, but with your current partner, try some different positions, try some different points of interest, and definitely add in some lubrication. Those would be my biggest tips. Question number 2. I've been struggling with vaginismus for a while, but I've finally been able to insert a finger comfortably. So vaginismus is going to be for a variety of reasons and causes painful vaginal penetration. I experienced going a bit deeper and noticed I had some brown discharge or spotting starting an hour later that turned into red blood. Now it feels like I got my period, even though my period is supposed to come in 2 weeks. Side note, I did get my COVID booster shot a week ago, and I read it can mess up the menstrual cycle. Thoughts? Wow, this is a loaded question that went in a different direction. I'm glad that you're able to slowly feel comfort with vaginal penetration. Your COVID booster probably brought on your period. You inserting your finger did not bring on your period. So it was probably the COVID booster. Yeah. Lots of points in that question though. Question number 3. I think I'm doing it wrong because I can't orgasm when I masturbate. I target the clitoris but I don't feel pleasure. Is there something wrong with me? There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. So first of all, people feel a variety of pleasure with different parts of their private area. I would, again, go to the basics here. Are you on any medications? And then 2, I would look at your anatomy a little bit closer. Sometimes people have a little extra of like a clitoral hood, which is formed by the labia minora meeting up at the clitoris. And sometimes that labial hood can get in the way of some pleasure. So that would be one other thing to consider. And if you're interested, you can also try vaginal stimulation too and see if that works. So don't get discouraged. There are a few different things that I would recommend. And give it time. Make sure that you're sort of in the mood too, because no matter your anatomy, mental stimulation really has a lot to do with sexual pleasure. It's not just push button, turn on. It really has to do with how you're feeling sexually, emotionally, physically, for your body to respond. So make sure it's the right moment. We've got arousal, and experiment in the area down there. Question number 4. I'm a gay girl who has tried masturbating and it has never worked. How do I make another girl orgasm when I don't even know what to do for myself? Okay, so first of all, don't get discouraged. Again, I've brought up a lot of points here. Certainly consider trying other spots, clitoris, vagina, lubrication, and then again, coming back to medications if you're on anything. And then no two people are different. And no matter who your partner is, it's always best to assume that you don't know what feels good to them. So approach every interaction with an open mind, and when you are with your partner, ask what feels good. And don't assume that if you find what works good for you, that it's going to work for them. So I think this is a really important point, and I appreciate that you're wanting to share how you're feeling with your partner, but communication is a really important part of sexual intimacy. So I would encourage you with your future partners, ask them what feels good, and hopefully they'll do the same for you. Question number 5. I'm really attracted to my boyfriend, but when it comes to sex, I find it really difficult to engage in it. I'm rarely ever in the mood, and I don't really know why. So another libido question. This is tough. I'm glad so many people are asking this question, because really libido and sexual pleasure, sexual arousal should be something that if you want it, it's available to you. That being said, I would circle back to, this might be a conversation with the doctor, but medications, mental health, and then it sounds like your relationship is good. Sometimes it helps to try different things, different positions, lubrication, maybe a toy, like a vibrator. There's no harm in any of it. Again, though, communication really is key and a sign of a healthy relationship. So maybe talk with your doctor and talk with your partner and try some new things. Don't get discouraged, but keep the conversation going. Don't give up. Question number 6. I'm a female, and when my boyfriend penetrates me or puts his fingers up my vagina, I can't feel anything. What do I do? I'm always aroused when this happens too, and we do other stuff. Okay, so first of all, great that you do other stuff. Not everyone really feels that vaginal penetration. Or it might be that you haven't hit the right spots in the vagina. So don't get discouraged. It doesn't, just because some people seem to experience vaginal penetration pleasure, the vast majority of people, like I've said many times, do not experience orgasm from vaginal penetration alone. So figure out some other things that you can do, and it's possible to stimulate the clitoris while vaginal penetration is happening. So keep communicating and keep trying new things, but you're not abnormal. If you have concerns, certainly talk with your doctor, but not feeling vaginal pleasure is pretty average. Question number 7. My girlfriend and I are really in love, but I don't think I can get her to orgasm. She gets really close, but it never happens. She also has a lot of pain during sex. Neither of us have had sex with anyone else, so it's not an STI. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. Certainly some things down there could still cause pain with vaginal penetration, yeast infections, and then I've talked about this a variety of other times, but STIs and sexual experience mean different things to different people. And as we've discussed previously, you can still spread STIs through oral sex. So if that is even a possibility, get tested. But back to her experience, sounds like painful vaginal penetration. One of the biggest problems with vaginal penetration is going to be not enough moisture down there. If you're using a condom, don't use an oil-based lube, but definitely consider lubrication. And she may now sort of have a negative association with vaginal penetration and might get a little tense in the private area whenever anticipating it. And so increase the foreplay for a while too. And then use lube and see if that can help. But I would also recommend seeing a doctor to make sure everything else checks out okay. Question number 8. Is it okay for a stream of liquid to come out of my vagina when I masturbate? Yes, squirting. It's actually a stream of fluid coming out of your urethra or your pee hole. It's not pee, it's fluid from some glands that are within your urethra or your pee hole. Some people do have squirting or a stream of fluid when they orgasm, and that would be normal. Question number 9. My girlfriend and I have been together for 5 years. We only engage in foreplay and oral sex, but I have not been able to make her orgasm ever, and it bothers her, even though I have tried everything. Now she doesn't care about trying anymore or telling me what she wants to do, as she doesn't know herself what she wants for it to be stimulating. It's now affecting other aspects of our relationship and my mental health as well, because I feel really bad for not being able to make her orgasm. So, 1, you're trying, you're doing your best, and so I wouldn't get too down on yourself. If she's starting to have some depression or negative feelings about it, I would say it's probably worth talking to a doctor. It's gonna be hard to talk to a doctor about though. Another thing is maybe asking her, this is some soft advice, encourage her to experiment on her own, and maybe you can have mutual masturbation, which is a way to experience sexual pleasure together and no risk of anything happening. But that might be interesting for her to show that you really want her to figure out what feels good. But if she's starting to really get down and we're not sure what's going on, she should talk to a doctor. Question 10. Is it normal to have a vaginal orgasm with one partner but not with any others? Sure. Yeah. I mean, normal. Yeah. It's not like, again, it's not just like pushing a button and it happens. It's definitely for no matter what your sex, there is a mental component to intimacy. And it completely makes sense that you would have a vaginal orgasm with one partner and not with another. The other thing is that anatomy is a little bit different too, and perhaps something felt a little bit better with one type of anatomy and not with another. It doesn't mean that you can't still have sexual pleasure with your partners, but there's nothing wrong with you. Nothing wrong with you. Bonus question number 11. During sex, my boyfriend and I have tried lube because with the condom I get dry really fast. But even after applying lube, my vagina will dry up again after a few minutes. I don't know if it's the medication that I'm on or would something like it do that or not. Okay, so certainly could be your medication. You're probably using then a water-based lube, which is safe with condoms. Never use an oil-based. But you could also try a silicone-based, and that lasts a little bit longer than water-based lube and might work better for you. So try that. And that'll do it for this round of 22 and 23.